You have just tapped into the Christian Life Coach Collective, and I'm your host, Laura Malone. I'm here to equip and encourage coaches in skills, business, personal life, and faith. I believe you're already 100% worthy and capable, and you're called for such a time as this. So let's get you walking it out with courage and confidence so you can be an amazing coach who sees transformation and great results in both your life and the lives around you. Let's get started. So like we talked about in the last episode, there's a good chance that if you're called to coach, you've already been doing it, but you're not calling it coaching and you're not getting paid to do it. You're just guiding and helping people everywhere you go. And you've been holding space. You've probably been helping people find clarity and feel heard and seen and known. You've probably helped them make decisions and move forward towards their goals, figure out what they want. So many women wait to call themselves a coach till they have a website or a certification or a business card, or I would say the top thing is a real client, which let's define what a real client actually is. I think that's different to everybody. And if you think a real client is someone who has gone through all of the steps of booking and scheduling and signing a contract and paying something and showing up for an hour session, and that's when you get a real client, then you're missing out on something really deep and special. All of the experience. If you can see everybody in front of you as a client, whether they pay you or not, you'll get so much more value and experience, and you'll actually realize that you've been doing this for a long time. You don't have to get paid to be a coach, right? I coach a lot for free. I run a nonprofit. I coach a lot of people, and they're all my clients, even if they're friends or employees or kids. I'm still pulling on the gifting and calling of coaching in my life, whether I'm being paid or not. So I just want to cut the legs out of that lie for you. The truth is that coaching doesn't begin when somebody pays you, okay? It begins the minute you start showing up intentionally for someone else's transformation. So if you're here and listening to this episode, you've probably been doing that for a while. You've maybe walked your friends through some kind of life transition or a grief process. Maybe people come to you because they need clarity about something, or you hear yourself saying to people, "What do you think is really going on under all of that, what you just told me?" Or "Tell me more about that," or "What do you think you should do?" Without even realizing that those are coaching moves, right? So you've been practicing in real time. You might be a doctor who coaches your patients. You might be a teacher who coaches the teachers around you. You might be working as a nurse, and you keep finding that you're coaching the other nurses through their compassion fatigue, through taking action in their life at home, right? Without a label of a coach, without a paycheck from a coaching business, without the platform of I'm a coach. So if now you're starting to wonder if it's time to own that, I want to help you talk about what does that shift look like? Because it's not about money. It starts in your mindset. It's about moving from I am a helpful friend to everybody who comes my way, to I am a skilled guide. I'm investing myself to becoming a great coach to whoever God sends my way. Go from I'm just being nice, I'm just being helpful, to I actually bring something really valuable to the table. Going from this is just who I am and blah, 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 to this is also what I do. And I can structure it and name it and invite others into it, whether I'm paid or not. So there is nothing wrong, let me be clear, with offering encouragement and insight as a gift. But when you feel the nudge to go further and give it a container and treat it like the real valuable work that it is, that's not being prideful. It's getting into alignment. Because you're not selling your friendship. You're actually creating an intentional space, an intentional rhythm and structure and support that actually helps people who want your help go further and become more sustainable on their own, right? take personal responsibility, take ownership, use the tools you offer them, and follow through. You're saying this matters because it does. So if you've ever been thinking like, I love helping people, but I am not sure I'm qualified, or it comes so naturally, like I do it all the time for free, could I really charge for it? Or even, I think, well, a lot of my clients struggle with who would actually pay for my help, something I do for free all the time. How could I possibly get these people? And I think too, if you only imagine that the only people you're ever going to help are the people who capture you in the parking lot or, after church, or the people at work, and they're all used to you giving them free coaching. If you think those are the only people that you're ever going to work with, then you will struggle with this belief that no one will pay you, because you know what? They won't. You've taught them how to treat you, and you've been doing it for free for a long time. So if you're not guiding them into your ecosystem with the revelation that you are a great coach and they can book a session if they need help, instead of, wow, my kids are sitting in the hot minivan after church for an hour while I coach this person because I don't know how to get away from them because I really do want to help them and I feel so alive helping them. But they also won't stop needing help and my family wants to go home. The kids are crying. They need a nap. They were on lunch. I got to go to the grocery store. And it can lead to like this sabotage that you can actually end up feeling resentful for, which is really this weird cycle because you feel so alive when you're doing it. You just need a container for it. You might actually have a different job that you're doing, but you want to do coaching because you're coaching instead. Maybe you work at a restaurant and you love the restaurant business because of how you get to serve people and you're helping hearted, but you hate the hours of the restaurant business. Coaching is an awesome opportunity for you to create something, a container for you to do what you want to do, what you're really good at, but do it on your own terms. That applies to any job that you have. I will say that any job you've ever had, if you did it well and you could help somebody else do it well, you could be a coach in that niche, in that area. You could use that topic. I could help you. I don't know. I know that with all my restaurant experience, I could totally help servers, restaurant managers, trainers, proprietors, restaurant, like the people who open the restaurant because they have a vision for it. I know I could coach those people to be better at whatever it is they want to do in the restaurant business because I have so much experience. I didn't need a degree in hospitality. I have years of experience in the restaurant business, serving people. I wish I had known then what I know now, that it was the root of my calling is to serve and help people. And that's why I found so much joy in the restaurant business and so much entrapment when I worked in a cubicle. Answering the phone and going off a script. Oh my Lord, I hated that. It killed my soul. But I would go back to the restaurants business and feel this freedom and fluidity and creativity. And then when I realized, wow, I could start my own business and we started our own nonprofit, it just felt so creative and flexible and free. And like I was stepping into things that I'm meant to do. You could do that no matter what kind of job you have. You could be a nurse and also have a coaching business that serves nurses. And because you are informed about what they need, about their struggles. So I'm going to give you a list of a lot of different niches just to get your mind going. But if something comes naturally to you, I just want you to know it doesn't mean it's not valuable. It actually might mean it's exactly what you're made to offer. And it's exactly the way that you could create an income. Because people are looking for what you carry. They just need to know it exists and have a way to access it. So I'm going to give you a list There's about 15. There are more, but I'm just going to cut it off at 15. High value coaching niches that I believe you could probably find some part of your story inside. So now, let's just start with life transition coaching. I've been through so many transitions in life. Oh my goodness. I could coach you on a lot of them. So what has happened in your life? Have you navigated transitions? What could you actually help someone else if they came to you and said, I'm in a shift season. Could you work with me? Could we have 4 sessions where you ask me questions about the transition I find myself in and help me find the next right step and renew my mind and change my perspective? Could you offer me possibilities? Could you do that for anybody who's in some kind of transition in their life? Maybe going from high school to college, college to career, career to stay-at-home mom to career, a dad who needs to stay at home and has a sick wife. Like, oh my gosh, divorce, separation, taking care of aging parents. There are so many transitions in life and everybody needs help. There's also obviously executive and leadership coaching. Have you ever been in leadership? Could you help other leaders? Have you ever been in the executive corporate world and you could help those people gain confidence and grow into a promotion? Everybody has these needs, right? There's emotional intelligence and mindset coaching. Yes and amen. Health and wellness coaching. What have you accomplished? I see the things on Pinterest all the time, like wall Pilates 28-day challenge for women over 40. Like, there's probably so many people clicking on that. But would you be able to coach somebody who says, I'm in perimenopause? Actually, let me know if you do. And everything is changing. Have you been through that? Do you have some tricks and some tools and some tips? Would you be willing to be an ear when some woman is like, this is exhausting. I haven't slept. I don't know what to do. My doctor doesn't know anything about perimenopause, doesn't believe it exists. My husband is so confused. My kids think I'm crazy. I'm hot. I'm cold. I'm hot. I'm cold. I'm hungry. Please get the food away from me. Like, all the things. Have you ever experienced that? Would you be willing to be there with somebody else while they're going through it? And that's also weight loss or just nutrition, like getting into a lifestyle of taking care of yourself, right? There's career and purpose coaching, helping find somebody discover the career path that they are made for that would be sustainable and life-giving to them, or helping them find purpose in any area of their life. There's confidence and identity coaching, entrepreneur business startup coaching, if you've ever done that and you have like a kind of a clear path of how to help somebody do it. There's faith-based or like spiritual growth and discipleship coaching, relationship and marriage coaching, burnout and boundaries coaching. Ever been burnt out? Ever been somebody who got trampled on and then decided not to let that happen anymore and you could help somebody else? There's productivity, organization, time management coaching. There's trauma-informed or healing-centered coaching and parenting and homeschool coaching. Yes, we need some. Please become a parenting or homeschool coach. Mindset, a money mindset, or like financial stewardship coaching. Do you have any skill? Have you been a banker? Have you been a financial planner? Would you be willing to help singles or married couples or families like figure out how to change their mindset about money and face their fears and start learning how to steward it well, right? Last but not least, for sure, I'm just leaving it because last is what I want to talk about it, is consultant coaching. And the next episode, I'm going to tell you more about that and my plans for it. So I want you just write down like 4 or 5 situations where you've already been showing up like a coach, deep conversations with friends, helping people make decisions, Maybe you are like the listener and like somebody has said to you, wow, I have never said that out loud before. And I want you to not dismiss that and think, like, what would it look like to give that same energy and care to a client who's actually invested in the process and step into that role on purpose? I'm just going to say, when you give away free coaching, you don't have invested clients in front of you. You have people who are pulling on you because they're in the moment. They're maybe trauma dumping. Maybe they're debriefing. Maybe they're going to take the action that you guys talk about taking, but there's a good chance they won't. What happens when you say, I'm a coach, would you like to be my client? It invites them to be proactive and intentional and take personal responsibility so you actually help them get better results because they have accountability, because they know that they've made an investment. And it's not just financial, it's an investment of their commitment energy, their decision energy, their motivation and intention energy. They're investing themselves into a growth process. How many times have you helped somebody and coached somebody and guided somebody and invited them to growth, only to find out that they never did anything you talked about? I can raise my hand and say hundreds of times, especially over my life, maybe thousands. And I get really frustrated when I have helped somebody and I've invested my energy only to find that they were not as invested as I am. I don't even work with clients who are not invested in their own work. Please don't pay me and then don't show up. I don't need your money. I need your transformation. That's what lights me up. That's what makes me want to keep doing this, right? I think about, I was leading worship and I just remember the day. I'm like, I have little kids. I live in a crazy place. I don't have any help. And when I would lead worship, I would, you have to spend time getting prepared and praying and asking the Lord, what's the flow? What's going to happen? What do you want to do? Work on those songs, practice on the keyboard or the guitar, whatever. What am I going to play for this set? And who do I need? Do I need somebody on the djembe? If I'm playing the keyboard, do I want somebody on the guitar? How do I work with them? Like, there's so much that goes into it. And then I would get there, and I remember one day, everybody at church was staring at the wall behind me where the words were. And I clearly remember the experience I had of feeling their level of investment and energy in this does not equal mine. And I am bringing great value right now. And I deserve to have that value respected. My time and energy. I deserve to be respected for what I'm putting into this. And I actually went to the pastor and I said, I'm sorry, I can't lead Sunday morning worship anymore. But I will lead. This is my way. I'm like, I won't do that, but I will do this. And that's why I started a business. I'm like, I won't do those things, but I will do these things. And I got some boundaries. I will do a Thursday night hungry worship night. And you can just tell the church that if they're hungry and they want to press into the presence of the Lord and they want to be in worship, they don't want to just show up to a box on Sunday and do what they're told and read the words and move their lips, but not their hearts. If I'm going to invest like this, then I want the people who are hungry. I'm willing to show up for that. If there's just one hungry person, we'll be hungry together. Where two or more are gathered, right? So we did on Thursdays, and it was so amazing. And I was so in because people would come out on a Thursday night. And even if there was just 5 of us, I was all in and willing to give my all. If it was just Dora, I remember you, Dora. Sometimes it was just me and Dora and Patty. And it was just us and pressing in. And I was like, I want to get off the keyboard. I want to put my face in the floor and melt into Holy Spirit right now. And Dora and Patty didn't care if I did. Because we were in worship. It wasn't a project. It wasn't a show. We were really going after Jesus. That's how I feel about coaching. And when you do the thing that costs people nothing, then they'll do it because they think they should. But when you create a container for the hungry people to show up, then you are going to be blown away when you see the results of what happens in those people's lives. When their intention, energy, and investment mirrors yours, and yours mirrors theirs, man, you're going to be addicted to coaching. You're going to be addicted to seeing Jesus show up in your sessions and change lives. It's going to be so powerful. If you want that, I'm so excited for you. And I'll talk to you in the next episode. Thanks for listening. For more coaching resources and to learn how to work with me, head to sterlingandstonementoring.com or click the link in the show notes. Remember, walk boldly in your calling, and I'll talk to you next time.